Good morning, everyone. We're going to just chat here for a couple seconds while we get some people to notice before we start talking. It's been a long time since we did a live feed here on West Whiteland Residents for Pipeline Safety. But I'm Ginny. I'm here with Libby and PK. We are here. We're in the Lintry neighborhood right now, looking out on Lisa Drive. And we're here this morning to document a sinkhole that occurred here on last Thursday, July the 6th, and then it was filled by Energy Transfer on July the 7th. We didn't hear anything about this until this week, and so after it was filled. And there was an article put out by State Impact on Tuesday night, a couple days ago, and that was actually the first that the public really had heard about this. West Whiteland Township actually had not been informed by Energy Transfer until the day after the sinkhole had occurred, and not until it was being filled by Energy Transfer. The PUC and DEP are aware of it. The PUC is doing an investigation as necessary, and the DEP has documented it. We don't know if they were here to see what the sinkhole looked like before it was filled, but we do know they were here. The story that
great story
that Energy Transfer told the township conflicted with what the DEP told the reporter who wrote the story. So that's what we were checking out yesterday. The DEP reported that the journalist reported through the DEP that the sinkhole that occurred here on Lisa Drive on the Mariner East easement was 18 inches in diameter and 54 inches deep. No information about how far that spread out underground, but that's what the DEP was saying. However, the township was saying yesterday that they had been told by Energy Transfer last Friday that the sinkhole was something like
6 inches deep and 18 inches wide.
Yeah, it was like 16 by 4 by 18, nothing like 54 inches deep. Very different. So
it depends how you spin it if you're a spin doctor, right?
Residents had kept asking questions.
Sunoco Energy Transfer, whatever, has great spin doctors.
To exactly the same person who they spoke to on Friday, telling them it was a small hole, and they replied via email, and we will share that email in the comments here later, that the sinkhole was in fact 18 inches across and 54 inches deep. But they also claimed that the sinkhole is closer to the 16-inch pipeline, and they go into detail saying that that's 50 feet below where the sinkhole is, and that it is 8 feet from the 20-inch pipeline. They do not say in the email how that pipeline was installed nor how deep it is. Fact is, the 20-inch pipeline, which this sinkhole is basically sitting on top of or very close to, is only 4 to 8 feet underground, and that sinkhole was reported to be 54 inches deep. So, was the pipeline exposed, and was the PUC or DEP here to witness it? Because the township certainly wasn't notified in time to come out and check that out. So I'm going to flip the camera around. So instead of looking at us, you are looking at the easement, and we can show what we see. So hang on here. Okay, so just to get your bearings, we're here in the Lintry development, and now this is looking north along the Mariner East easement. A train actually just went by when I was talking. The commuter train, SEPTA and Amtrak lines run right there. The pipelines come under those tracks. So this
Think
right
about
here
that.
is
the
the
pipelines
20-inch
under the
pipeline.
train tracks.
And I'm going to walk over here to the east. About 20 feet. And there's the 16-inch pipeline. Right beside it is an unmarked marker, and that is the old 8-inch pipeline, which used to be Mariner East 1. The 12-inch pipeline here takes a detour and runs east along the track. So that's why there's no 12-inch marker up here. So that's the 8-inch next to PK. That's the 16-inch. And over there is a 20-inch. Now, if we come back here, I'm going to try to zoom in, and hopefully you can see where the sinkhole is. Yeah. Okay. So it focuses on my finger when I point, but hopefully you can see there, kind of in the middle of your screen. I'm going to point to it quickly. Right there. There's a light patch, and right beside it is a... right to the left of it, you'll see a yellow post. That is the cathodic protection. And right behind it, you can see a yellow marker. That's in line with this one, the 20-inch. And then you might be able to see another marker to the right of that one. That might be the 16-inch, or it might be for the 12-inch that heads east along the railroad tracks. But in any, and then there's one further to the right, which might be the 16-inch, or it might be the 12-inch. Beside this white portico, closer in the foreground, you can see another marker, and that's for the 16-inch. So the 16-inch is on the right, the 20-inch is on the left, and clearly the sinkhole is close to the 20-inch, not the 16-inch.
Not right over the top.
Yeah, if not, right, Libby just said, if not right over the top of it.
Yeah.
So it's clear that Energy Transfer, yet again, has given false information to our township. They gave false information on, very false information on Friday, and still again yesterday.
Energy Transfer should note that no one is trespassing, because that's what they also like to claim, that these ladies trespass, and they are not.
In that exact area, there was a groundhog hole. The Energy Transfer felt it was important enough to contact West Whiteland Township and say, there's a groundhog hole in the easement. But they didn't feel it was important enough to call them when it opened up into a sinkhole.
Yeah.
And I can see the groundhog down there right now. He's right in line with the 20-inch line.
It's a Caddyshack here.
Yeah.
Hey, Libby, do you want to talk about last Thursday, the day of the sinkhole, what the rain was like? Libby lives just not like what, maybe
a mile north of here.
A mile north of here. So what they were experiencing in her neighborhood would be similar to what was happening here.
Well, we had 6.5 inches of rain in a matter of 2.5 to 3 hours. So it was really coming down hard, and a lot of the neighbors who have a propensity to flooded. So I imagine as this flows downhill, that was probably a small lake down there. And even in Meadowbrook Manor, I've been walking the line of the easement where we had sinkholes just to make sure there's nothing opening up with all the water that's been accumulating there with these heavy storms. So basically, I'm sure if there was a groundhog hole there, it filled with water and probably could have precipitated the sinkhole.
Yeah, somebody online just said, yeah, it was bad. Yeah, it really was bad here in West Whiteland here on Thursday with precipitation. And it's been something that we watched during construction. We were very concerned about it, and it's an ongoing problem here. Last night at West Whiteland Township meeting, we heard how they have sinkholes as a result of last week's rains all over the township that they're busy fixing. So this area is prone to sinkholes because of the karst geology.
Yeah, in the valley, the karst valley.
Yes, it's one of the reasons why we should not have even had, Mariner East should not even been allowed. There goes another train right now. There it is right there. So commuters going back.
Notified the tracks, the FRA again,
Probably not. But this area is prone to sinkholes. It's one of the reasons, just one of the reasons why the DEP never should have approved the permits for this dangerous pipeline project through here. And then the construction of Mariner East only made this situation worse.
Yeah, we're on nice, right? That's really crumbly. What they did, they destroyed
Yeah.
the whole bedrock.
So, and this area, I'll flip the camera around so you can look at it. Most people on here will recall, but in case you don't, this is the area, these backyards of 5 homes where, beginning in the fall of 2017, they saw a series of sinkholes, which eventually led to these 5 homes that are here along Lisa Drive. All of these homes are now owned by Energy Transfer. The 5 families that lived here were permanently forced from them and had to sign non-disclosure agreements in order to get fair compensation. That was back in 2020. So those homes sit empty. For a while they had Mariner East workers in them. But these backyards were pumped, filled with grout to try to stabilize them. On the area where we're standing, there is a schist. There's some schist rock that is very crumbly. The geologists were actually surprised when those sinkholes started to happen here because you don't expect them here. You do expect them just on this side of the railroad tracks. There is a fault line called the Mardic Fault, and it's very close to where that sinkhole is. And on that fault marks a transition between the schist that we see up here and the limestone, where we see all those sinkholes throughout the valley.
Most studied or
Yes.
in the world.
Yeah, so about, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago, up until a year and a half ago, this was filled with, I don't know, maybe 1,000 or more test sites where they were studying the geology here. They had strain gauges on the pipelines, and when they finally took all of that up, the PUC said, as PK just said, it's the most studied geology of anywhere they know. Well, it's the most studied, but the sinkholes continue. So we just wanted to give you that update.
This is a piece of it.
Oh,
This is a piece of the schist, right?
oh yeah.
Look at it crumble.
Yeah.
It literally crumbles in your hands. And this is what they drilled through.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder they destabilized it in the middle of a nor'easter. I remember that pullback where they had suction.
Yeah.
Basically collapsed the ground in.
Yeah, so they did HDD drilling through here back in for the 16-inch pipeline back in 2008, 17, 18, and they had to stop that. They couldn't continue that method for the 20-inch pipeline. That's why the 20-inch pipeline is so close to the surface. They had to put it in by open trench here. And so that's why it's especially concerning when we see sinkholes here, because that pipeline is not, as Energy Transfer was pointing out in their email yesterday, the 20-inch pipeline is not 50 or 100 or 150 feet underground as it would be by HDD drilling. It's only 4 to 8 feet underground because it was open trench. So on behalf of Libby and PK.
And the groundhog.
Oh, and the groundhog. There's a groundhog down there. Yes, Carla, it's kind of like Caddyshack over here. I'm all right. Okay, guys, have a great Thursday. We will update you on anything else that comes up. And there's going to be some further posts on this today on this site.